Hari sarau cukup ya. Hari sarau baru baru kita ini ada ini perlu kan dapat నీళ్ళని వచ్చేసి ప్లస్ దానికన్నా అంటే పక్కన ఇది వేరు ఆ ఊర్లో పెట్టాను ఎక్కువైనా రేట్లో మీకు చెప్పండి కూడా బయట కూడా ఇది ఈ రోజుల్లో గ్రౌండ్లో ఫుల్గా వచ్చేసింది నేను అట్లా ఇంటి కొత్త బిల్డింగ్ అయితే ఇది సరే సార్ అందరికి వచ్చింది రోజు వచ్చేస్తాను
Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to all. Welcome to the section 2 of the day 1 of this webinar. Uh, yeah. So now the topic is Agile with digitalization and cloud architecture. There are two speakers with us to deliver this talk. One is Bhanu Chandra and N. Satyanandaram. So N. Satyanandaram is from the IIIT Idupulpaya, RGUKT, RK Valley. It's my privilege to introduce our faculty and Satyanandaram. Then I hand over the section to Satyanandaram for the rest of the section. So, N. Satyanandaram is a senior faculty from the department, from the computer science department. He is having 10 years of teaching experience in the RGUKT. So, he did his MSc from IIIT Hyderabad. Now I hand over the section to Satyanandaram to go ahead.
Satya, you are in mute. Yeah, thanks, Vanu. So, thanks to Ajay sir. So now it's a great pleasure to invite you, Mr. Vanu Chandra, as a guest speaker to address our participants. So here our topic is on agile with digitalization and the cloud architecture. So before going to that topic, so here I want to tell some info about Panachandra. So here currently working as a senior DevOps engineer at Autodesk, which is located at Singapore. Having 8+ years of experience in development, DevOps, and maintenance. Currently serving a role of development operations engineer for Autodesk Private Limited from the 2017 July to till date. Previously, he worked as a senior DevOps engineer for DBS Bank Singapore from 2016 to 2017, and he worked as DevOps engineer for 3LOQ Labs Hyderabad from 2014 to 2016, and he worked as DevOps engineer for Blue Mobiles, which is the top gaming company. Uh, uh, Before that, previously he worked as operational engineer Site 2 in Amazon Development Center, Hyderabad from 2011 to 2014. So here he's having uh, plenty bunch of knowledge on uh, DevOps technologies, as well as he knows about Amazon Global Transportation Services, Amazon Global Tech Cost Center, shipping engine involved in projects related to process improvements, technical improvements, and acting as one of the point of contact in India for any of the above services issues. So is having data center work permit experience in DAKC, IDC4 data center at Mumbai. So uh, it's a great pleasure to have such a potential speaker, uh, in our side. So we hope that your thoughts would enable our participants to gain knowledge from your expertise and experience. So now I am hand overing Mr. hand over the session to Panchan.
Thanks, Satya. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys had a nice lunch. I'm hoping that next 40 minutes or 45 minutes you will be with me. So because without sleep, I'll try to make sure I'll be presenting in a without boring. So let's start with my introduction. So this entire today's topic, myself and Satya are going to present two different topics. I'm going to talk on cloud architecture, and after that I will hand over to Satya, and he is going to walk you through on digitalization and agile practices which are revolving in current industry. And coming to myself, so as you can see my name on the screen, I'm Bhanuchandra, and I currently work as a senior DevOps engineer at Autodesk Singapore. I work on designing and building cloud solutions for platform services and infrastructure services. So this is the current role that I have been working last 5 years, and total I do have 10 years of experience on building different solutions on cloud. And coming to the today's agenda, uh, mainly I'm going to give you a basic idea about cloud, what is cloud, and I can also talk on architecture, and then we can correlate these two different things combining together, and then I'm going to walk you through on cloud architecture, and finally if time permits, I can deliver a demo how we can host a static website by using one of the cloud services. And finally, we can cover how you guys can build your career in cloud. And finally, in case if you guys have any questions, maybe we can talk on that questions as well. Yeah. So as I said before, so this entire cloud architecture, we can take it as a two different parts. One is cloud, and the second one is architecture. So we'll start with cloud. What is cloud, and why is cloud, and how does it benefit for us to uh, build our applications or services on the cloud? And so while working on the cloud, it is important to understand what is an architecture and how we can make sure we are going into the right path or not while building the services on the cloud. So that's where like we have two different topics, and then finally we can combine together and we can see what outcomes will come into the picture. And let's start with what is cloud. So cloud computing is the delivery of different services through the internet. So which means that if you observe this previous slide image, so to access the different cloud services, the only thing that you need to have is internet connectivity. So if you have an internet connectivity, then you can start accessing the cloud components from your mobiles and from your laptops and from any of the servers. And in case if you are using any of the desktops, then you can access it. And even you can use tablets to access the cloud services. And the cloud is offering different variety of services to us, and so you can monitor, and then you can access content based, and you can use collaboration, and even you can establish a communication between different parties. And even if somebody is working on share market and finance related stuff, so they can access different. And if I wanted to host a database, and then I can use database services. And even you can use the storage, so different things. The only requirement that cloud should have is internet connectivity. So if you have internet connectivity, So then you can start using cloud computing. So that is why cloud computing is the delivery of different services like storage services and platform services and infrastructure services, different services it can deliver through internet. So that is where it's the most popular. So why, what is exactly the cloud is and how it is going to benefit for us? In the past, people would run applications or programs from a software downloaded on a physical computer or server in their building. So cloud computing allows people access to the same kind of applications through the internet. Just to give some example, if so for example, if I wanted to travel in a train, so what do I need to do? So do I need to buy the train or do I just need to buy the ticket to travel in the train? So in case if we have a platform like if I wanted to buy a train, so which is a huge cost for me, and I need to the traveling tracks and everything I need to establish. So which makes me more like complex to invest more amount on it. And if I'm just buying a train ticket and then if I'm traveling it, so which like satisfy my requirements. So that is where the same model, the cloud computing will also work. So just to, for example, if any one of you planning to start a company, first we need to work on investing in infrastructure. So this is the basic need, right? So for example, if I'm planning to start a new IT company, the first thing that I need to work on is infrastructure. So infrastructure is nothing but like, so because whatever the services that I'm going to build, I need to host it. I need to run those services on the servers. So first thing is I need to make sure I'll buy a servers to run my applications, and we need to buy physical servers for it. And so once I bought a physical servers, do you think how many, so can I directly run it without installing anything? So then I need to install operating systems in the physical servers. And again, I need to buy operating systems. And we have a servers ready and we bought operating systems installed in those servers. And the next question comes into the picture, where do I keep these servers? So then I need to have a space to keep these physical servers. And so once I found the place and then I kept these servers into separate room. And the next thing is I need to make sure these servers will talk to each other. So that is where like I need to establish a communication between these servers, whatever the servers that I bought it. And then, so I need to again buy switches and routers to make sure the servers can talk to each other. Okay, so, and then we have servers ready and operating systems ready, and then network is ready, and we kept all these things into a server room. And the next thing that we need to make sure, so do we need to supply 24/7 power to these servers to make sure whatever the services that we are going to deploy in these servers, it should run 24/7. So definitely to make sure without any power interruptions, I need to buy a UPS or power backup solution for these servers. So again, I need to spend some more money on it. And these servers, again, everything is ready. Now, these servers, if I started using them, it will generate huge heat. So what is the next thing that I need to concentrate on? So definitely I need to make sure that room will have enough cooling system. So that is where I need to invest on AC. So I just need to buy AC, and then these ACs will make sure my servers will be having enough cooling system. To set up this entire things, how much do you think just to start an IT company, how much I need to invest on establishing this entire infrastructure? So maybe around like 50 lakhs to 1 crore I need to invest, even if I wanted to buy 10 rack servers. And okay, so I have invested 50 lakhs and then I spent 50 lakhs to 1 crore amount on establishing this infrastructure. And so do you think how long I can use these servers? So maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So in case if everything goes smooth and if there are no physical damages, there are no any power outages, then I can, let us assume I can run it for 5 years without any issues. And do you think still I can use these old servers after 5 years? Definitely no. So because the technology is growing very rapidly, and to support the new technology, so I need to up to date my infrastructure as well. So which means that whatever the amount that I have invested on my infrastructure, which will be no use after 5 years. So because I need to upgrade my infrastructure, so and again I need to spend some more money. So this is the use case earlier we used to have if you anybody wanted to start a new company. So to resolve that, we have a cloud into the picture, and that is where, like, to resolve all these issues, instead you having your own infrastructure, let's somebody else have their own infrastructure, and then you just use their infrastructure. So in that case, like you will be just using their physical infrastructure virtually, and then whatever the usage that you are going to make out of it, so then you're just paying for it. So what kind of services that cloud is going to give us in this model? So basically they can, if I wanted to buy database, so they can give me database services in the cloud. And if I wanted to establish a network, so I can rent it from the cloud providers. And if I wanted to have an operating system, I don't need to go anywhere. It's a single place that I can take it whatever I wanted to, and then just pay for what I have used it. And so at the end of the day, so cloud is the one which is like updating, and then they are giving me the uptrained technology requirements. So and then these are the different services that we can get it from the clouds. And now let's understand why do we need to use cloud. So definitely if we started using something, we'll always be looking for some benefits out of it. So here are a couple of benefits that we are going to use it get if we started using cloud. So the first thing I can say is it is easy to use because so definitely if any new app or new application is coming, so the best thing is like we make sure it should be easy to use. So definitely UI is the cloud will provide simple UI, and we have well documented resources to use how to use them. And the second one is flexibility. So flexibility in the sense like, so for example, if I wanted to choose some specific operating system, so like if I wanted to use Red Hat, if I wanted to use Windows operating system, or any other operating system, so the cloud have that flexibility to give us whatever the resource that we want. And also it will allow us to, in case if I wanted to build my application by writing code in Python, or if I wanted to build my application by writing in Java, so even the cloud will allow us to, it will give us the flexibility to choose whatever the application or whatever the programming language that we wanted to build on the cloud. And the third, the most effective and most concerns that everybody will have is cost. I wanted to get more benefits with the cheaper cost. So that's again, that is one of the benefit that we are going to get by using cloud. Instead of having our own infrastructure, we'll just start using the cloud. So just we will use only the usage that we are going to make. And apart from these three, so the most thing is reliable, how much I can trust cloud. So that is where the reliability comes into the picture. And in case something, so I hosted a website into the cloud, and if something went wrong, and how fast I can recover from that down. So that is where cloud will also give us the reliable resources and applications to establish our applications on the cloud. And moreover, the next one is scalable and high performance. So for example, today I host a site, and by keeping in mind I'm going to get 1,000 requests per second. And later, what will happen if my customers are increasing, and if the number of requests are increasing? So I should have a capability to scale my infrastructure as per the demand. And the final one is I wanted to keep my environment more secure. And so that is where we'll all get these benefits after starting the cloud. Yeah. So coming to this, we know it now. Cloud is providing different services, and we have a vast majority of the services that different cloud providers. So now the question is, which cloud provider that I need to choose when I started building my own application. So in the industry, there are huge cloud providers who are offering different services, and a couple of them you can see it. Amazon Web Services is one of the most famous, and again Google Cloud, and even you might have heard about Microsoft Azure, and even IBM Cloud and Oracle Cloud. So there are different cloud providers are in the industry. So based on our use case and based on our cost ability, that how much we are going to spend. So based on that, we can decide which cloud provider that we can go with. So, but here are the list of cloud providers that you can see in the current market. There are a lot of other cloud providers as well, but I just mentioned the top majority of the cloud providers here. And so as cloud is a hot topic these days because of the ability it is providing to start small businesses, like the people who are planning to start their company. And if they wanted to build their applications with a minimum cost and with lot of services, and if any existing business they wanted to move towards digitalization, COVID is one that every company realized that they have to move towards the digitalization. So that topic is going to talk Satyanandram. So if anyone wanted to build their applications on cloud, it is important to understand the differences and advantages of various cloud services. So if you take AWS, currently it is offering 2,000 plus different services to use and build our own applications. So as the service types are growing day by day, there are usually three models of cloud service to compare. So these are the three different service models that we have in place to make sure we will be choosing the right cloud service model to host our applications. And the first one is infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, and software as a service. Let's talk about each one of them individually. Yeah. Infrastructure as a service, you can see anybody can, after looking into this slide, they can, it mainly represents the infrastructure. So like building the servers and the storage systems and network switches and routers and networks. So this infrastructure as a service is also called as a IaaS. It mainly gives us the highly scalable and automated computing resources. And IaaS is fully self-service for accessing and monitoring computers, networking, storage, and other services. And based on our requirement, we can purchase resources on demand and as needed, instead of having to buy entire hardware. And IaaS delivers cloud computing infrastructure, including the listed servers, networking, operating systems, and storage through virtualization technology. So here, whatever the things that I have listed, so those are not physically visible to you guys, but we will be accessing those resources virtually. And by using infrastructure, there are a couple of advantages that we are going to get it. The first thing is the most flexible cloud computing model that we are going to start using. And so if we wanted to automate anything, so it is easy to automate deployment of storage, networking, servers, and processing power. And hardware, another benefit is a hardware purchase can be based on our consumption. So whatever the usage that we are making, so based on our requirement, we'll just spin up another server and then we can start using them instead of buying it before. And resource can be purchased as needed, as I said. And moreover, we can scale our infrastructure based on our requirements. And coming platform as a service, this is also called as a PaaS, PaaS, and it provides cloud components to certain software while being used mainly for applications. PaaS delivers a framework for developers that they can build upon and use to create customized applications. A platform for software creation, and this platform is delivered via the web. So most of the resources that you can start using, accessing them through your web browsers. And so because of this, it will be giving developers freedom to concentrate on building the software without having worry about operating system, software updates, and storage or infrastructure. So there are a couple of platform services advantages definitely that we need to talk about. If you start using platform as a service, it is simple, cost-effective development and deployment. You can deploy apps very quickly, and the common feature that you can see about these three service models is scalable and highly available. And the developers can customize apps without the headache of maintaining the software. So if anybody wanted to build something, developer, he don't need to like worry about installing, and also he just need to worry about how he can and how effectively he can code the application. And so after started using platform as a service, we can see significant reduction amounts when you started building your services on the platform. And automation is the another key factor to build your platform services. And if you talk about a couple of characteristics about the platform services, it builds on virtualization technology, so resources can be easily scaled up and down as per your business requirements again. It provides a variety of services to assist with the development, testing, and deployment apps. And it accessible to numerous users via the same development application. And we can also integrate different applications and databases by using platform services. And last but not the least, in the service model, software as a service. As a software as a service, this is a very interesting one. So we don't need to worry about our hardware, and even we don't need to worry about our softwares as well. So we just need to worry about what is our use case and how we can use software as a service. So for example, let me give you a very small example that you might have faced in your day-to-day life. So I have an image that I wanted to resize. So currently it is in 10 MB and I wanted to make it to 1 MB. So what is the thing that we are going to do? So either we may need to have some special software that we need to install on our operating system, and then using that tool, we can start resizing and then pixelizing that image. And so which requires to install some software in our system. After started providing software as a service, you don't need to install any software in in your local system. But instead, what you can do is you just open any of the browser. There are a lot of software as a service providers that are they are deployed their service to minimize or maximize the given image on the cloud. So that's why you just need to open in the browser and access that URL, and just you can upload your image and just fill the form and how much resolution you need and what is the size that you are expecting. And if you just click on a button, then it's done. And the another, like if I wanted to edit a PDF, so I don't need to install any software in my system. Either I can access any of the website that allows this feature, I can just start using them. And even most of you might have faced like converting Word documents into PDFs and PDFs into Word documents, something like that. So even those are the services that you can see in online. So there are a lot of websites that are available to do this work. So you can just start uploading your document and then just convert whatever you wanted to convert through this platform as a service. And definitely there should be some couple of advantages that we are going to get it once we started using software as a service. And SaaS provides numerous advantages to employees and companies by greatly reducing the time and money spent on tedious tasks such as installing, managing, and upgrading softwares. So we can avoid everything once we started any software as a service. And after this one, the another thing that plays a huge role into when we are building any applications into the cloud, we need to consider about cloud deployment models. There are many considerations for cloud architects to make when moving any standard application deployment model to cloud. There are public and private clouds that offers complementary benefits that are basically three that you can see in the screen. So private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. So we're going to talk about each one of them individually. Let's start with the private cloud. Okay, so for example, we have a company, and so this company actually hosted some applications, and they don't want to expose it to any outside of the customers. So for example, if you take any company, and the company wanted to establish a service, let's take they wanted to host a website, and after going to opening that website, and this website they wanted to allow for their internal employees to access and to download their pay slips and then their salary structure and all. So do you think can we make this application as a public, or just we need to keep it as a private? So definitely it's a financial information. So we wanted to make sure we have to keep it in a private, so which should not be accessible for outside of the people. So that is where this private cloud comes into the picture. So what we have to do is like in this case, company will be having its own data center. So like they will be having their own physical data center, and then they will be hosting these internal accessible related applications on this cloud. So if they are going to make this model, what are the benefits that they are going to get it? So definitely with the private cloud, they will be having a high reliability. So because they're not sharing this infrastructure with anybody, so other than their company. So only the people who are working for this company, they should be able to access this infrastructure. So that is where like when you have a company, and if you wanted to host the applications which you wanted to allow within for internal purpose, then you can always better to build a private cloud. Next model that we have is public cloud. So here we have a company A and we have a company B, and we have a public cloud. So public cloud, we can consider public cloud as a cloud providers like AWS cloud and Google cloud and Microsoft Azure and all. AWS cloud is going to access only one company. So there are multiple companies who started using this one. So this is called public cloud. So any cloud provider can be considered as a public cloud. So because the same services are utilized by different companies. Company A can use AWS and company B can use AWS, and these guys are the owners for this public cloud, but we are accessing them into physical virtual. So, but this physical will be owned by that specific cloud provider. And let's talk about hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is nothing but which is a combination of private and public cloud. So if you see a company A, so a company A can have his own private cloud, and it can also start using AWS services. It can, which means that it started using any of the cloud providers, because it feels like other than this one. So they have a two requirements. So for internal purpose, all internal related applications that they're going to host in a private cloud, and all the external facings, whatever the services that they are building, that they wanted to publish it to the public, so then they'll host those applications into the public cloud. And the same thing here, the company will be having his own private cloud, and even they can start using any of the public cloud offerings that they wanted to use. So here, the main advantages that you can see while using private cloud and public cloud. So private cloud is more secure when you are hosting your internal applications. But if you wanted to make your applications publicly available, so definitely you need to choose the public cloud. And public cloud is more flexible comparatively with the private cloud. So because you are going to get huge number of services, service offerings from the public cloud. And so definitely hybrid cloud is the current trending model each and every organization that they wanted to utilize. So because definitely each company will be having some internal applications and some external applications. So hybrid cloud is very trending to establish their applications based on the requirements. And so till now we talked about service models and deployment models in the cloud, and let's start discussing on what is an architecture. So architecture starts with a problem statement. So definitely architecture is required. Have a problem and we wanted to solve that problem. Definitely we need to have a proper model in place to solve that problem. So any architecture will be successful when you started questioning with the why, who, what, and where. So for example, I wanted to construct my own home. So the first thing that is, why do I need my own home? So it's a simple, right now I am staying at a rent house. So I wanted to have my own house so that I can eliminate my rent. So that is why like I started with a why. And who are going to stay in my home? Of course, I'm going to live with my family. And what I need to have if I wanted to construct my own house, the next question. Of course, the most thing is we need to have a money. So if you don't have a money, definitely I'm not going to construct my own house. And so where do I need to construct? The next question. So where do I need to construct? Of it. So after questioning myself with these questions, then definitely I need to start planning to construct my own house. So planning is nothing but like how much money I need and where I need to buy the material and what material I need to buy and to whom I need to give a contract to build my house. So all this planning should be there, and what is my estimated budget. And once you have finalized your planning, then you can start designing. So designing is the critical part which will lead into the success to your architecture. So here, so if you take the example of the home, definitely we need to think about how many bedrooms that I wanted to construct, and what is the size of each bedroom, and which side I need to construct a bedroom. So all these things we need to plan accordingly, and then we need to make sure this designing will fit into our planning. And so the next thing, once your architecture is feasible, and you can start building your applications, or you can start your, in this use case, we can start constructing our house. And this is what the architecture will play a key role for the successful construction of the home. So basically, just to reiterate, it starts with the problem statement, and we have to analyze the problem statement, why, where, and when, all these things. And then you have to plan accordingly, so based on your budget and all. And again, finally, you need to make sure you will be designing, and you will be keeping everything on the paper. So we can also call it as a blueprint or layout, so that it will be easy for us to what mistakes that we are doing it, what things that we need to change while constructing and all. So architecture is the key for success for any of the product. And now let's move about, let's talk about cloud architecture. So we talked about architecture. So definitely it starts with the problem statement. And if I wanted to build some application on the cloud, so definitely cloud architecture is going to play a key role. So cloud architecture defines the components. So components are nothing but the different services that each cloud provider is offering. So they are providing like databases, networks, and servers, and everything that they are providing it. So architecture is nothing but how do we correlate, and how do we make sure we interrelate one of the service to with another service. So that is where the cloud architecture comes into the picture. And just to give you a sample idea about how this architecture will be designed and all. So I have taken a problem statement here. My goal is to establish a website. I call it as a CRUDS API. .example.com. So this is the target that I'm planning to host my website. And basically users will start using my applications if they have an internet connectivity. And definitely here, if you see cruds.example.com, which is a name, so we'll also call it as a DNS name. And so Route 53 is one of the AWS service that provides the ability to convert your IP addresses into DNS names. We will call it as a Route 53. So basically, this service will give you the ability to convert your IP addresses into DNS names. And we have hosted some applications here. Let's talk about each component. So this diagram represents the two-tier architecture. So two-tier architecture, and I'm storing some data into a database. So this, whatever the I'm storing in this database, I'm going to access it through front end, that is through. So now let's start with this one. So I'm storing my data here into RDS, which is a relational database. This is another AWS service. It provides ability for us to host our databases, MySQL or any other databases which are available. Database is the one component, and we have Route 53 is another service that I have explained to convert the IPs into DNS names. And the VPC is nothing but it's a virtual private cloud. So this is the network. We are going to build a virtual network in the cloud. So this entire infrastructure that we are representing in the cloud. So now let's start with the architecture diagram. So now, as you have some basic idea about what is Route 53 and what is VPC and what is RDS. And so there is another AWS service that is EC2. So EC2, it provides the ability for us to launch servers. Here, if you see, let's talk about this architecture again. I'm storing some data in this database, and my front end is hosted in this EC2 instances. And then I have a load balancer, and this load balancer URL I have converted with the DNS name, that is crutchapi.example.com, with the help of Amazon Route 53. So now when users started hitting my website cruts.api, so then the first thing it will go is Amazon Route 53. So this is where like it will understand, okay, so this is the DNS name that it is saying. And then this Route 53 will analyze, and then it will identify, okay, so this DNS name is mapped with this load balancer. Will this application load balancer, and behind this application load balancer there are two instances, two servers that I hosted my application on. And so based on the availability, so which server is available at this point of time, this application load balancer will make a final call, and then it will send the traffic to that specific instance. So this 4 arrow marks that you can see here, we'll call it as a auto scaling. I designed this architecture for to support 1,000 requests per second. And tomorrow, if this CRUDS API.example.com, 1 lakh people started using it. So then this auto scaling will help us to scale up and scale down the instances based on my incoming requests. So if the number of requests are increasing to this website, and you can see it is going to launch new instances automatically. And if you see the number of requests are reducing, then it will start reducing the number of servers that are attached to the load balancer. And the final thing is, like once we have established this entire services in the network, it is also like our responsibility to make sure everything is working fine or not. So that is where we will configure some alerts. Monitoring is required. And Amazon Cloud Watch is another AWS service that provides capability to monitor your infrastructure and other AWS services that you have built on cloud. You can also configure the alarms. So in case if you wanted to be notified when the CPU utilization goes like 100%, so then you can configure this alarm to trigger the events. So with the help of email notification, so whenever this specific server reaches 90% CPU utilization, immediately you're going to get email on your email box. And even if any one of the server is going down, definitely you're going to get an email with this monitoring services, and then alarms that you have configured, and to whom you wanted to send this notification. So this is a basic two-tier architecture diagram. Okay, so availability. So any service that I'm hosting, how much availability that my service should have. So definitely people will expect 24/7 without zero downtime. That service should run, and then whenever, like if you start browsing Google, so it always should open the page, right? So it should not say I'm down today. So that is where availability comes into the picture, and reliability. So how much we can rely on these services that we are building on the cloud. So that is where, like cloud architecture, when we are designing something on the cloud, so we need to make sure. And the another thing is security. We are keeping our handle the our data smoothly. The performance. So whether it is slow, fast, so the performance matters. If somebody is typing my URL, that should immediately open within fraction of seconds. So that is where, like we need to make sure our efficiency while designing any of the benefits that we we are going to get it out of building cloud architecture. Choosing the right cloud. So while building any of services, we need to make sure we will always opt for the right cloud. And as we know it, like in the current market, we have a huge number of cloud providers. So like AWS, Google, Microsoft Azure, and all. So the things that we need to consider while choosing the cloud, the first thing is cost. So, and based on our use case. So for example, some companies will say, no matter. So even if the reliability is not there, even if the availability is not there, and if they wanted to run some non-production accounts, so they just wanted to have only the cheaper cost services, then definitely they are going to choose the least cloud provider who is offering the same services for the lower cost, even if they are not giving proper availability and reliability and all. So based on our use case, they will opt for it. And some companies will say, I don't care paying more, but I need to have trusted services. So that is where they'll go with the high-end service cloud providers. The key role building the right applications in the cloud. Here, so for example, I hosted some website in a cloud, and then I have a trouble. So it is not accessible to the customers, and then I know it is not problem with my end, but I identified a problem with the cloud. So then the cloud provider should raising a request to them, and if they're responding back after 1 month, so then I'm gone. So that is where when using a cloud, it is you have the right support model in the place, and the service levels, another key role, and how good the cloud architecture is. So and security in the cloud. So because we are going to keep our data in the cloud, and it is important for us to make sure our data is secure when we are hosting any applications on the cloud. Users are responsible for validating that they're adequately addressing a collection of controls and processes in order to receive a stamp of approval for satisfying the requirements of a constraints as defined by government laws. So we need to obey the government laws when we are building any applications on the cloud. So there are many different regulations that exist today. In order for a company to determine which regulations apply to it, the company must have a fine understanding of its industry standards, business processes, and data requirements. So there are a number of regulations that apply to systems being built in the cloud. Some are industry specific, and some are specific to the type of data that we are storing in the cloud, and transactions that are being processed on the cloud. So here the major role is there should be an understanding between the cloud providers and then company. So how this auditing cloud applications will impact their what we call the regulations that government will apply, and even the cloud providers will apply. And when we are building any application, we need to make sure so we understand these regulations from the government and regulations from the cloud providers, and we need to consider whether those rules and regulations are fit for our applications to host on cloud. So basically, if you take any industry standards, these regulations will be applied based on the industry requirements. These regulations will change. So the regulations will be differ from one industry to another industry. So for example, if you take healthcare industry, the regulations will be different. And if you take government, and the regulations will be different. And if you take education, the regulations will be different. And the second one is data types. What kind of data that we are storing? So are you storing your personal information? So in this example, like if you are storing any other data or something, so that will be considered as your personal information. So whether are you hosting to perform any financial applications on this cloud, so then the regulations will be different. And the third and most important is location. So when we are hosting these applications on the cloud, we need to obey the local government rules. So you might have seen the TikTok has banned right recently. So that is because of Indian government has enforced the regulations against to TikTok. So that is where, like, when we are keeping any data or any applications on the cloud, we need to make sure auditing and security in the cloud is most important. So again, the question comes in the mind, how much security is required? So it again depends. The level of security required for cloud-based applications or services depends on the numerous facts. So as I told you before, depends on the target industry and depends on the customer expectations and the kind of data that you are storing and how much risk that you can take while hosting your applications and how much maturity that your product is having. And finally, transmission boundaries. So we talked about different deployment models like public and private, right? So when you are hosting your application, you should understand whether your data is have a public network or between the private network and all. So we need to make sure we understand this one, and we need to understand how much security is required to host our applications. And finally, the security strategies. Most applications built in the cloud, public or private, all these are in a distributed nature. So the reason many applications are built like this is so they can be programmed to scale horizontally as demand goes up. Business grows, they wanted to scale up their infrastructure. As one can imagine, the number of servers in scalable cloud architecture can grow to a high level. So this is why a company should apply three key strategies for managing security in the cloud-based application. The first thing is centralization. So they need to make sure they follow the centralization model, and standardization. So they need to make sure standardization is the next important strategy. Security should be thought of as a core service that can be shared across the enterprise, not a solution for a specific application. One is when you are started utilizing different services and your services are growing heavily, and it is definitely you will not be having a control to secure yourself. So that is where automation is not key when you wanted to secure your when your infrastructure goes heavily. So if I wanted, so for example, if I have 1,000 servers and if I wanted to audit each one of the servers manually, it will definitely take time for me to audit. So if I build an automation solution, so then this automation solution will make sure whatever the rules that I applied, it will verify whether these security strategies are following these instances or not. And at the end of my automation run completes, it will generate a report for me. Like we have security strategies. And the final thing is we need to consider data. If we are hosting any services on the cloud, definitely we need to consider on the data. So because I'm going to keep my data on it, so there might be a different kind of data that I'm going to store, right? There are many characteristics of the data that should be taken into consideration when building cloud services, either physical or whether virtual. So here we need to consider on performance of the requirements when we are hosting our data into the how fast I can retrieve this data, and so like how much secure is my data when I upload it to the cloud, and the performance. So performance is matter. So if it is taking 2 hours or 3 hours to upload 1 MB file, so then definitely that is not what I'm looking for, right? So how much volatility that I can expect after uploading this data, and how much data I can upload into the cloud. So that is the another volume that we can have into the consideration. And moreover, when we are uploading the data into the cloud, so the most thing that we need to follow is regulatory requirements. So whether are we following the country regulatory requirements, or whether are we following cloud provider regulatory requirements or not. And finally, retention period. So how long, if I uploaded a data, how long I can keep the data. And so if I uploaded the data and if I forget, so what is the retention period that I can take over. And moreover, we should understand multi-tenant or single tenant. So when we are utilizing the cloud services, we need to understand that is a shared service. This is not these cloud services are not only built for us. So this is shared for multiple people. So that is where this multi-tenant. So you need to make sure, like when we are keeping the data in the cloud, so we are sharing the coverage with the different companies as well. If they are doing something wrong, and your data will also be gone. So, but cloud providers will make sure that will not happen. But we need to like make sure something will be in the place to have this to handle that scenarios. And single tenant. So if you are feeling like if you are storing sensitive data, then cloud providers will also give us some dedicated resources so that you can use single tenant hardware. So which is dedicated for only our company, and choosing the right data store types. So based on your performance and how much data that you want to store, so choosing the right data store will play a key role in the data considerations. And finally, so the cloud computing bad practices. So when you are building any applications on the cloud, the bad practice, one of the bad practice is avoiding failures. So for example, you hosted some website and you know it, you identified some bug in it, and you know it some point of time it will cause huge problem, and you just ignored it and you avoided that failure, and later which may lead to huge problem. So whenever you identify a problem, so you just need to fix it immediately. So to make sure when you host this one, don't avoid the failures. And migrating. So there are a lot of companies after this COVID started migrating their on-prem applications to the cloud. So because of the digitalization, and migrating applications to the cloud, you just make sure you follow the right architecture while moving these applications, and also just don't have a lot of expectations and misguided expectations on the cloud. And misleading information on cloud security. So lot of people are bothered about to keep their data in the security. So definitely there are a lot of regulations are in the place so that we can definitely securely keep our data on the cloud. So otherwise the government will not give permissions to host these cloud services. And and also we need to keep our security in the place so that will make more secure whatever the data that we are keeping in the cloud. And again, the selecting the right cloud provider. So it's not selecting the favorite cloud provider, but selecting the right cloud provider based on your use case. and handling the outages, and people having a skill shortage. So if you don't have enough shortage, and then if I know very little about the cloud, and then if I started using it, and I feel like I'm the king, and then I can build whatever the services that I wanted to build, and then when I went to production, it will fail. So that's where we need to make sure we have enough skills to build these services, and unexpected costs. So cost is the another key factor to drive cloud architecture. If you are designing a bad architecture, definitely you will see unexpected costs out of it. And so finally, I came to an end. So maybe I can show you a simple static website hosting within 5 minutes, how you can host a static website using one of the AWS service. Let me share my screen. Yeah, you guys can see my screen, right? So this is just to give you a feel. This is a AWS console that you can see. This is there are different AWS services that AWS is offering for us to use the cloud. So as I said, AWS is currently offering 2000 plus AWS services for the different requirements. You can see compute, storage, database, migration, transfer, and management of governance, and even it provides blockchain. And even if somebody wanted to build any analytics, and you can see security and all. So for now, what we're going to do is, let me show you to host a simple static website. Okay, so this is one of the surveys that I have selected to host my service, that is called S3. We'll call it as a simple storage service where you can start storing your files, folders, everything here. Even if you take Facebook, right? So all the images that you have been uploaded, so will be stored backend in this S3 bucket. So now let's see, I'm trying to create a simple website, RGUKT webinars.com. So I'm just hosting this one, and to make sure I'm allowing to the public. So I just created I'm creating a bucket. Okay, so now I have a bucket. So now I can start uploading my, you can see upload button here, and I'm trying to add very simple HTML page that I have written very basic index.html page, and then finally I'm clicking on upload. Okay, so now upload is successful. You can see my data is uploaded successfully, and again I'm exiting from this thing, and now you can see this file is uploaded to cloud. So now the thing is, I'm just making sure I'm giving public access to this one. I just gave a public access. I made this file should be accessible for the entire public. So again, I'm exiting, and now let's go to the properties, and here you can see it static website hosting, right? And I'll be just giving this one, and I'm just enabling to host this one, and whatever the file that I have uploaded here, and I'm just indexing it. And I don't have error.html, but I'm just giving this one, and finally just make the changes here. Okay, so good. So we have uploaded this one, and if you click on this link, so this is the static website that I already hosted. Now, if we open this one, you can see here. So simple static website. Even if you wanted to make a bigger HTML with a lot of hyperlinks and all, so you can just build it, and then if you have a folder, just upload it here. Just create a bucket, and then just upload it. So just within like 5 minutes of time, you should be in a position to host your website. Yeah, so that is the demo. Let me share this link. I'm going to keep it for next till this session ends. If you wanted to try, so I just pinged it. Okay, and this. Okay, so that's all about demo. And finally, in case if so, you know it, right? So most of the companies they're opting to host their applications on the cloud, and in the current trending technology, it is must to have cloud knowledge. So that is where like how to build a career in cloud. So from my side, like just start with a very basic cloud computing concepts, and try to take any one of the certifications that are available from the different cloud providers. And if you are working in a college, and make sure whatever the projects or college projects that you guys are building it, try to host them into the cloud so that you will get a real feel of the cloud. And so most of our most of the cloud providers are giving you a free if you are making low utilization of the cloud resources. And moreover, you can see a lot of learning resources in the internet. Even you can YouTube, or there are Cloud Academy is the another one. Or else if any one of you looking for some resources, how to start and what are the best resources, maybe you can ping me. I can share you the couple of resources from where you can start. Work hard, work smart, hands-on as much as possible to learn cloud. And I'm done with it. So I'm happy to take any questions if you guys have any.
So dear participants, you are allowed to ask questions. If you have any queries, you can ask.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
My name is Muhammad Yasin.
yeah, Mohammed.
Yes, sir. So nowadays we are using cloud platform. Uh, Actually, we are using smartphones. In smartphones, there are service like Google Cloud for Apple iOS iCloud. Is possibility to migrate from Google Cloud to iCloud.
So iCloud is the storage actually.
Storage, yes, sir.
Yeah, so iCloud is a storage, and you're talking about Google Cloud storage. You're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So it depends, right? So I do believe iCloud is not free, and even there are a lot of different solutions that if you are planning to migrate data from one cloud to another cloud provider. So the main thing is the connectivity. So if these two cloud providers are agreeing to share the data between one provider to another provider, then directly you can transfer it. So I don't think these two cloud providers will agree to transfer the data between these two. So the only thing that you need to do is you have to take out the data from the cloud, Google Cloud, and then you have to store it in your local, and then from there you need to move it to the iCloud.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So can you, so Harshavardhan, can you brief about Kubernetes? Okay. So Kubernetes comes into the picture. It's a microservices architecture. So for example, I have a server, and I hosted some web applications in it, and then my server capacity is very huge, but I'm using only what we call very less utilization of the hardware. So then what I should do is like to make sure I will be using 100% of utilization of my hardware. So then the Docker came into the picture. So that is where it supports to utilize my hardware in an effective manner. So whereas you can run different operating systems and different applications on the same hardware resource. And here when you are running different applications with the containerized solution, it is also important how do you architect and how do you make sure these services, microservices can talk to each other. So Kubernetes is a orchestration tool to make sure this all microservices will be aligned together and then talk together, and whatever the auto scaling and all we talked about. So which covers through Kubernetes when you are designing Kubernetes. And this is a very trending technology these days because it is having the ability to build your applications piece by piece. So that's where Satyanandram is going to talk about agile and digitalization in the coming session. Yeah. Any other questions that you guys have?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed.
In your experience, which cloud platform is the very secure?
So I one cloud platform is more secure. So because each cloud provider will be having its own set of security standards, and most of the cloud providers should also align with the government policies that they are applying it. Mostly, like I can say, it's a depends on use case. So what kind of application that you are trying to build, and how much cost that you can bear with building that application, and what is the duration and how much support that you are looking. So all these things. So only security is not the only part that we need to consider. We need to consider on different characteristics when you are building any applications in the cloud. Yeah, so there is no favorite cloud and there is no like single answer to say this is the best cloud that we can start using it.
Which cloud are you using, sir?
So we have a multi-cloud environment. So I work on Microsoft Azure, and I use Linode is another one. I work on Oracle Cloud, and even I work on mostly AWS. So we have a like multi-cloud environment. So it's a depends, right? So what kind of application that we are building, and so for non-production environments, we'll always be looking for low cost but not high availability. So even if the non-production environment goes down, that should be fine for me. So, but whereas in the production, it comes into the production, I'll always look for high availability, high reliability, more secure, and I should always see happy customers. So that's where like we have a multi-cloud environment.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So how we can we approach user? Okay. So Satyanandram can share my LinkedIn profile, and even you can reach out to me on my uh, email ID. So if you wanted to note it down, yeah. Yeah, so here is my email ID. You feel free to reach out to me, or you can connect me on LinkedIn. So it should be okay if you wanted to build, if you want me to post any questions over there. I can take it forward.
Yeah. Thanks, Banu.
Okay, cool. Handing it over to you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Banu, for your valuable session and your valuable presentation over on the cloud architecture. So now I'm going to give one lecture on agile with digitalization. Okay, first let me share my screen. right. So here about the agile digitalization. So if you want to do the cloud architecture or if you want to do anything, first of all, the data should be digitalized. So here we are having my agenda is on about digital transformation. So in the digital transformation, we are having about digitization and digitalization and the digital transmission. And here about what is digital readiness and assessment of digital readiness and the digital readiness assessment insights and key business properties. After that, we'll see about an agile process, how an agile is different, and there we are having 12 agile principles. So here about the digitalization. So here you can see this given pyramid. So first of all, if you want to do the digitalization, the first foremost thing is we have to digitize. Okay, means we have to make the data. We have to get the data from the physical objects or attributes, and we have to make it digitized. So here you can see in core level we are having all the physical components, okay, and they are with you have to make the data about these physical components as digitized. Means we have to note down. So previously, generally previously the people have to give input to the system manually. So here, because of this digitization, the program will get the data from the tables. Okay, if any program want to if any program want to get the data from the digitalization board, so it has to get the data from the digitization. Okay, so after they have digitalization, so here the thing digitalization here it can be having the data and processor over the cloud. So here about the digital transformation. So here this is regarding the company whether your organization is ready to be acquire is ready to adopt the digitalization. That thing we have to check. So first we will see the digitalization. So here from the past decades, we have been the humans have been doing the digitalization from the 1960s. So here the term digital means here it will the data could be in the form of bits and bytes. We have to convert the given data into bits and bytes. So here maybe sometimes the data might be in paper, physical documents, or sometimes the data might be in images, or sometimes the data might be in photographs and the sounds. Okay, so we have to put this physical data to the systems data, or we have to convert the data, okay, with the procedure of digitization. So here the main aim of this digitization is, so here the digitization will establish the connection between physical world and the software. So the physical, so how the software, so software is, as you know that software is nothing but a program. So how the program will get your data. So that is generally in previous your programs will get the input to the terminal or something. So if the data is in digital form, so obviously the software or the given program or any software, so that will that will access the data which is in digitized format. Okay, so here the digitized data can be used by computing system for numerous possible reasons. So here obviously if the data is in digitized format, so any program can get the data. So here in the procedure of digitization, we have to make the data available over the cloud. So here with that thing over the cloud. So previously the programs, okay, they will access the data from your servers. So here the server which is in our system. So here the server, the entire thing, the program, the data, and the servers. So these all are put over into the cloud. So here the entire scenario has changed. Okay, so here the entire thing should be in these recent changes. The entire thing should be over to the cloud. So the programs over the cloud. Okay, so there itself the program has get access of the data. Okay, and the user, okay, user anywhere from the anywhere the user can access the program or anywhere he can operate the application as well as the developer mode. So they also access, they also upload their modules. So we'll see them later. So here, the next thing about digitization. So here, the process of digitization. So it enables the transforming business operations of our models by leveraging digital technologies. Means here the companies has to got the technologies. Okay, they have to identify the recent technologies need to be adopted for their companies. Okay, and if they want to build any application, so they have to identify the suitable technologies and they have to check their employee skill set, and they have to leverage the digital technologies which applicable on the digitized data. So here the use of digital technologies and the data to create. So here the main aim. Okay, the usage of the digital because of the usage of digital technologies. So obviously they'll get the efficient work, they'll get the efficient processes. Okay, and they'll get the revenues, good revenues, and they improve the business, and they'll adapt to the digital culture. So here, another point about the converts process to be more efficient, productive and profitability. So when the data is to be digitized, obviously the processes, means the programs, they can get the data. Okay, so here we are having some example activities of digitalization. So here, uploading one of the example is uploading PDF document from system to cloud and share it with many people to analyze the data, and sometimes converting Excel sheet to a Google sheet stored into the cloud, which can be shared among several users. That is another example. And another one is uploading digital movies from CDs, DVDs, or Blu-rays onto the online services and can be downloaded or rent them. So these are the advantages with digitalization. Okay, so next we are having about the digital transformation. So this is regarding the digital transformation is not about technology. So obviously it is about strategy and the new ways of thinking. So here the companies has to think about these strategies, new strategies to avoid to get of the race from the competitors. So here this is about the adopting the new technologies and getting advantages comparing with their competitors. Okay, so here humans can collaborate with the technology to initiate a new culture of learning. So obviously, with the digitalization, everything will be on cloud. So here they can encourage, the new culture. Okay, new culture. So if you observe in recent days, we are having the pandemic situation. So here, previously, each and every employee has to go to their company and they have to sit there and they have to work. So there, for that, companies has to pay more amount of money for their power costs and for their office cost. So here, this new pandemic, okay, so it will describe the new culture of the learning. So here, nowadays each and every company offered work from home to their employees. So it can be possible because of this digitalization. So here with that digitalization, so each and everything over the cloud. So each and everything will be available over the cloud. Okay, so the product environment as well as testing environment or maintenance environment, each and everything available over the cloud. And here the employees no need of going to offices. Simply they have the net. Okay, they can develop the program and they can upload their program into the shared repositories. Okay, as well as the client. So he also no need of worrying about his product. So here they can check their product over the cloud. So here this pandemic situation learn some new way of learning. Okay, so here by investing in new technologies and practices, okay, so they'll so here they'll set some protocol rules. So here this is regarding the digital transformation. Okay, next we are having what is this digital readiness. So here this digital readiness means whether the company is ready what things need to be done by the company side. So here, the organization's ability to anticipate and respond to such transformation. So here, the companies, whether the company is ready to acquire the new culture of new working culture or not. So that thing they have to check. So here, every year we will be having the new technologies. So each and every term we are getting new technologies to be used. So to the previous we'll be having start from the software culture, start from the classical waterfall model. After that we will be having after that we are having spiral model or prototype model, and later we are having some agile. And after that, after the agile we are having the DevOps culture, and as well as each and every model will be having the set of technology to be used. So here, in the software world, uh, at every level, at every point of time, we are having the new technologies. So here, companies have to adopt to this new set of technologies, and they have to implement their standards, and they have to set their new protocols. Okay, so here, even traditional businesses such as low and accounting firms are affected by changes in IT. So here, not only software industries, but also the traditional businesses like some uh, traditional businesses like some businesses and some social businesses, social farms, they are also adopting the culture of IT. So here, these all four business processes are enabled by the software applications. Obviously, there should be applications and there should be technologies. So here, this digital readiness can be the people, the company, organizations have to check their digital readiness. Okay, so here, regarding assessment of digital readiness, how the companies will assess their potentiality regarding digital readiness, whether they are ready to adopt to the technology. So here they have to ask these questions. So the first one, what does being digital ready mean? So first of all, they have to understand whether this digital readiness requires for our business or not, whether it's suitable to our business or not. So that thing they have to check. So if they are not ready, still they are seeking for the digitalization. There is no need. So if there is necessity, they should be adopted. They should be adopted to digitalization. Otherwise, no need. So here they have to check. First of all, the base question is whether what does being digital ready mean. So whether they are ready or not, they have to check. So are we prepared for the changes taking place? So whether the company is ready to accept the change or not, they have to check. And where should we focus our attention when it comes to digital transformation? So, if the company wants to adopt this digital transformation, from where they have to start. So, from which department they have to start? They have to from where they can start this digital transformation, and what will these changes means for our business model. So here, this digitalization regarding the business model or consumer model, whether based on the customer we have to adapt to this digitalization, or does our company requires this digitalization they have to prepare. So why am I teach current capabilities and skills? So before adapting this digitalization, they have to check their employees' current skill set and capabilities. If they acquire this digitalization, so digitalization, as I said, digitalization involving with getting more set up, getting working with more technologies. So here, first they have to check whether the people, the current employees know about this skill set or not. They have to check and they have to move towards the digitalization. So another, how can I effectively communicate the importance of digital readiness to the CEO and other executives? For example, if you are a team member or a team manager, so if you are working in a project, so here, for example, if it requires the usage of, if it requires the uh, or introduce new processes. So how can we communicate with your CEO? How can you convey them? How can you make them agree another point. So here, what technology should we adopt? So this is the main thing. So of course, if the companies agreed to get the digitalization into their work culture. So here, for this digitalization, what technologies need to be introduced to the employees? That can, so this is, these points they have to check, they have to assess themselves before getting into the digitalization. So here, some insights. For example, if the company agrees about getting the digitalization, okay. So here, how can they start? How can they start the digitalization in our company? So here we are having certain framework, that is a plan, make, sell, operate framework. So here first of all they have to plan. Okay, we defining the best digital business strategy for the organization. So they have to plan before starting anything. Okay, for the product development or anything in the software world. First of all, they have to plan. Okay, so in that plan they have to discuss about their business strategy. Okay, next one about make. So after the plan, okay, so making the sense they have to how they can going to design and how they can going to deliver that digitized product. So based on the digitized data, digitized product, okay, how they are going to design the product or how they are going to implement it and how they are going to deliver the product or service, okay, to their customers. So these thing depends on the customer requirements. Okay, for before going that, during the plan, we have to interact with customers and we have to get all the requirements. We have to gather the requirements from the client as well. Okay, and we have to inform to customer regarding this digitalization and which technologies need to be introduced into the digitalization, which technologies need to be introduced for their products. Okay, we have to inform them and we have to get approval from the customer. So next, sell means after designing, okay, how to sell our product means developing a marketing and customer engagement strategy for the company's digitalized product and service offerings. So if you have done with a unique product, so how you are going to sell that product? So you have to check with various types of competitors. Okay, and we have to how you are going to give the advertise. So it comes under first sell. So here regarding the operator, so the product how you are going to operate means what are the deployment strategies, or if you want to operate whether how you are going to integrate, how you are going to develop, and how you are going to integrate, which strategy have you applied during the development. And here we have to, it should be integration. So which involves with the various features like integration, testing, and it should be pass all the testing conditions. Okay. So here this operator developing and integrating the company's operational backbone and the digital service platform. So here the entire thing over the cloud, as I said, okay, if they want to do these plan framework, sorry, if they want to do this plan make shall operate framework, they have to depends on the cloud. So here over the cloud, no need of installing any software in their systems. Nowadays, each and everything available over the cloud. Okay, so they can use if they want to prepare the document during the requirements gathering phase. Okay, so simply they can get the document over the Gmail or GitOps, or if they want to store that document, they can store. Or if they want to use any of the software for app development. Okay, I think recently I've heard about platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and software as a service. So they can choose one of the model and they can get benefit. They get benefit with any of the model. If they want to get the already developed product, they can get all the software as a service model. If they want to develop application only, okay, they can get service from the platform as a service. If they want to get the deployment also, okay, with infrastructure as a service, they can get the complete. Okay, so here this is about the digital readiness assessment inside. And here we are having some key business priorities. So before adopting this digital digitalization, okay, so here we are having some adoption. So here, first of all, they have to adapt to the technology. Okay, so by which technology, okay, they are getting more profits, or which technology they can get the efficient, okay, efficient work. Okay, they have to get the technology adoption, and the strategy planning and execution. Okay, so on the with this technology adoption, how they are preparing their strategy, and how they are preparing for the execution. Okay, next ecosystem. So what resources they are going to utilize? Okay, whether they are going to utilize, whether they are going to get the server of the cloud, or whether they are going to get the software from the cloud. So they have to decide. Okay, next development operations. So here they are having certain culture for development and operations, that is called DevOps. Okay, so on the we're having talk on DevOps. Tomorrow we are having talk on DevOps, where we can listen. So here about talent development. Okay, whether the workforce does know about the workforce knows about the technologies or not. Okay? That is one of the priorities. And the financial management. So how much money they are going to spend to get the digitalization. That is another important aspect. And the security management. So here the main thing about app development is security. They have to take care about the security. So they have to uh, secure their app from the attacks, cyber attacks. So here these are the key business priorities to get their business as digitalization. So next we are having an agile process. So what is this? So here the agile process is one of the work culture, okay, in software engineering. So as I said previously, we are having the classical waterfall model and the spiral model, and prototype model. Like that, we are having a agile process. So each and every model had some advantages and disadvantages. So here, this agile process, okay, is unifying. Okay, it is unifying all the advantages. Okay, we'll see. So here, as per the agile process, okay, so it is driven by customer description of what is required. So here the agile process giving priority to customer. So generally, before agile process, okay, so there customer is very frequently, customer is rarely interact with the teams. Okay, so during the testing only customer has to interact. Okay, so once we are done with the product, then only we will hand over. We can hand over product to customer. So at that time only customer, okay, is interacting with the company. So here, as per the agile process, customer is having highest priority. So based on the customer, so what is explained, that thing only these people have to implement. So here, customer is having more weight. So here, as per the agile process, we have the work has to be divided as sprint. So sprint is it's a short term. So shorter term, short module. So here, I recognize that the plans are short lived. So here, the teams has to prepare to implement that. So here the application app development can be divided into various sprints. So here they have to prepare various plans for various sprints. For each and every sprint have separate plans. So here the plans are very short-lived. One plan, if they prepare a plan, that belongs to a particular sprint only. If they are done with the implementation of that sprint, okay, the plan can be decomposed, and they will take another sprint and they will prepare a new plan. So here, develop software iteratively with a heavy emphasis on construction activities. So here, as per the agile, okay, so here, as I said, so the teams will collect all the requirements from the client. Okay, first they will work on a particular requirement, and they will hand out that the entire team will work on that requirement, and they will hand out that requirement to the client. Okay, so after the customer satisfies, then only the teams will start. The teams will start the second. Okay, implementation of the second requirement. So here, like this, the entire application, okay, will be built, okay, that is which involves with a lot of construction activities. So here deliver multiple software increments. So here we'll have the various software increments, means the entire product won't be developed at a time. So here the product will be developed module wise. Module they will go to the second module. After the second they will go to the third. Like that they will start. So here how the agile is different from other models. So here the agile is focused on collaboration. So here the main focus about the collaboration, how the teams will collaborate among themselves and how the teams are working together. So that is the key aspect in agile model. Okay, so here focus on working software. So here their main focus is on working software, means they have to implement the exact product, okay, as per the customer requirements. Okay, agilists are generalizing the specialist. So agilist in the sense they know each and everything. They are like full stack developers. Okay, so they know each and everything. Nowadays full stack developers having more weightage. Okay, so here means they have to know they have to know each and every they have to know about working at each and every level. Okay, agile is based on the practice, not theory. So here, if you see the previous models, so the previous models they are involved in a lot of documentation. So here in the agile, as per the agile, there will be minimal product. So here, this is how the agile is different with the other models. So here we are having agile principles, 12 agile principles. So here the first one is about satisfy the customer. Okay, so here customer satisfaction is one of the main aim is about the customer satisfaction. Okay, and the second one is welcome change. So welcome change. Uh, Always they have to accept the client requirement. Okay, for example, if today if a client hand over a requirement, they have been working on that, and after 2 days the client teams came up with new requirement. So these people have to work on that new requirement. So here customer is having high priority. Okay, so here customer is having value. So here so that the welcoming so here even late in development agile processes the control change for the customer competitive advantage. So here customers will be having more weightage, so that the teams have to accept the change. So here deliver frequent. So here if you see the image, so here we are having the sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, sprint four, sprint five. So at each and every sprint is having various processes. Okay, so here the first sprint will be delivered to the customer. After customer satisfying, okay, the team should start the second sprint. So after the second sprint, the team should start the third sprint. After that, the team should start the fourth sprint and the fifth sprint, like that. So here work together. So here the agile encourages the teamwork. So here the two people will be work for a single module. So here the work has to be divided. Okay, so each and every person has to develop the different models. So here, but in this agile case, okay, the people and the developers must work together daily throughout the project, throughout the project. Okay, next, the fifth one, trust and support. So here, the agile builds project around motivated individuals. So here, the agilists are motivated individuals. So here, uh, uh, we have to give them an environment and support they need. With the reason the company has to give, the company has to provide the certain environment and support for the agilists, and then they'll get this one. Next, the sixth one is about the face-to-face conversation. So here, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and so is face-to-face communication. Okay, so here developers they are at they are in their own site, so they are at the same location. They can easily communicate among themselves. Okay. Next, second one about the working software. So here the main theme is they have to prepare the work software. Okay, and the eighth one is about the sustainable development. So it means the agile process promote sustainable development. Okay, to their sponsors, developers, and the users. Okay, so they should be able to maintain a constant pace. Okay, so obviously that can okay, it is our development, so the product will be having longer validity. So next, coming to ninth one, continuous attention. So here continuous attention to technical excellence and good design. So here the agilists, they have to they'll provide the technical excellence and the good design. Okay, with the continuous attention. Okay, next, maintain simplicity. So always keep it simple. So they don't get they don't get the critical. Okay, they make the things very clear. They make the critical things very clear. Okay, so they are making teams. So agilists, they are self-organizing teams. Okay, so they'll the best architectures, the best requirement analysts. Okay, the best designers. From them, okay, that teams will be emerging. Okay, and the teams will be checked and adjusted. So here, what they are doing, okay, so that only they can be reflected. Okay, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective. Okay, then teams and adjust its behavior. So here, these are the agile principles. Okay, so here because of this digitalization, because of enhancing the business with new technologies or digitalization. Okay, so here the agile can be possible. So here the teams next year. This is about summary of agile. You can see so here the agile encourages the continuous delivery. Okay, so here the continuous collaboration with customers. So each and every module, if anything to be, if anything implemented, that has to convey to the customer. So customer after approving, after getting approved from the customer, then only the block. Okay, so they can finish that product. They can finish that module and they can start the second one. Okay, so continuous update according to change. If customer suggests any modification on their product, okay, so they can update. So there will be continuous collaboration. There can be continuous update. Okay, so here value participants and their interactions. So here participants, both customers and employees, they can get the they can interact themselves and they can get the value. Okay. So here simplicity in code, which satisfies the specifications. So here they'll make the code very simple. Okay, means since they have to work on a particular sprint, okay, they can simply they can get the simplified codes, okay, which satisfy the given specification. So in the specification, in the sense what the user required, what the user requested. So that is the requirement. So for that requirement, they have to prepare the specification, which is the solution. So as per the solution, okay, to satisfy this solution, so here they have to code. Okay, so here the code has to satisfy the solution, satisfy the requirement. Okay, so here all these agile principles, all these the work culture of the agile, okay, has to possible because of this can be possible because of this can be possible because of this digitalization. So here, so in the end of this agile is digitalization. Okay. So yeah, if you have any queries, you can ask. What is it? 127. Okay. Right. So here I'll Banu.
Sorry, what is the question?
No question. ask that.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I will take the questions on behalf of Sat.
Problem. Okay. So here we are having fine. Okay. So can you show the PPT which you have given so that we can pass that PPT to them?
Yep, sure. So I'll be sharing it to you on your email ID.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So here, dear participants, so this is the end of session. So tomorrow morning we'll meet on 9. Okay, for your participation. So Banu, my special thanks to you to make this event possible.
It's my pleasure.
No one is asking question. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I think no more questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.